Hi, I'm going to be talking about why gas vehicles are better than electric vehicles. Why are people even wanting electric vehicles? We have been waiting so long for them to come out. Why? Clearly, there's a lot of things that are different between the two, but the two differences between the two outweigh one of the other. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying why I think gas vehicles are better than electric vehicles. To start off saying, there are a lot of different reliabilities for each of those. And a big thing in our society is moving heavy equipment. We have to move heavy equipment to build buildings, we have to build your houses, we have to tear things down, we have to carry one thing from one place or another. An electric vehicle doesn't have the power to do so, right? So, with that being said, why are people wanting electric vehicles over gas vehicles? They wanted to change because of gas prices and all these other things, but what we don't put into consideration is when you're charging your vehicle at home, your electric bill goes up at least 10%, as studies have shown. So with it going up 10%, maybe that doesn't equal out what you would spend in gas a month, but your electric bill is still going up, and it depends on how much you drive. I mean, that's an average. It could go up 15-20% just depending on how much you charge your vehicle. So the reliability of the two is very different. With a gas vehicle, again, you can pull things, and if you even notice the equipment used to build things such as your houses and tear things down and move heavy equipment, when you're building a tall building, you have to have a big crane that lifts the equipment up to where it needs to go and set in place. You can tell, obviously, that those are all gas operated vehicles or diesel. We don't have enough power to make that work through electric. There's not enough power there, there's not enough really anything, there's not enough, I want to say, a mechanism there. There's not a good mechanism to make that work. So also, we have to think here too is prices of things, or even convenience of things. Let's talk about convenience. When you're driving on a road trip per se, right? It is very convenient. Okay, gas light's on. We need to get off the highway real quick and we need to fill up our car, which averagely takes maybe 3 to 5 minutes to fill your car up, right? With an electric vehicle, you need to find a charging station that you can go to that's near, and we don't have enough charging stations yet. So what do we do if there's one not close enough for us to make it there to charge our vehicle? Now, maybe planning ahead would be a good idea, but some people don't do that. But at their convenience in a gas vehicle, they could get off the exit and get gas in their car. So what do? We have to put so many new charging stations in, right? Which means that that's more money that is being spent to build those charging stations, which means the price of those vehicles are most likely going to go up. So that it's not very convenient for people, especially even if you're in a life or death situation, like you need to get to the hospital to see somebody, or somebody's dying, or you need to make it somewhere for a surprise birthday party or something, anything of the sort, and you don't have enough charge to make it there. Say you're traveling 3.5 hours away, you don't have enough charge. What do you do when you can't find a charging station? And then if you do find a charging station, it averages about 10 to 15 minutes to fill or to charge that vehicle up. It's just not a lot of people's convenience. Now, also the repairs, right? Let's talk about repairs, because this is a big thing for the two that really separates the two. Say your battery goes out in your gas vehicle, right? We're gonna take it to a mechanic shop, we're gonna get it checked out, no big deal, maybe $200 on your way, right? Now let me show you something I have here as something to represent this. So if you can see here is a Tesla and here is a gas vehicle. The prices for the battery of a Tesla is $30,000, okay? That is a lot of money. Over here, averages 60 to about 200. So, $30,000 is a new car. You could buy a used car at around $8,000, and for one Tesla battery, you could buy 3 cars. Is that worth it to you? Probably not. Because why would you want to spend that kind of money on a battery, on an electric car, right? Now think about this, operating with that battery that's $30,000, you have to do software updates on your cars, right? Which is nice, maybe, for people. But what if the software update goes wrong? What are you gonna do? What if your car doesn't operate because it won't update? Why would a car have an update? So with a gas vehicle, you replace the battery, you put the terminals on it, and you're on your way. And your car starts up, goes. You don't have to do a software update on it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the money to spend $30,000 on a battery when that car probably costs $45,000. Right? You're paying more than half of what the car costs just to get a battery, which is a common thing to go out in cars. Maybe not electric vehicles, but there is a big chance of them going out, and then you're out $30,000. And a lot of people don't have that kind of money to just throw down on a car. It's not worth it. So now if you take a look here with my other representation, we're going to talk about what I was talking about earlier, about why a gas vehicle is more reliable. So if you can see here, this is an electric vehicle trying to pull a little trailer, okay? That may fit your suitcase, okay? Throw that in the trunk, whatever. If you see this is a gas vehicle, not even a diesel vehicle that is being used to basically, it is being used to pull equipment. An electric vehicle can't do that, because then you risk the problems of trying to push too much power and it blows a fuse or it shorts a wire. And an electric vehicle is ran just off of wiring, an electric, other than your wear and tear items. Now, wear and tear items are more so, I would say, around the same price. But in the electric vehicles, there's a braking system that the gas vehicles do not have, which I think is a good thing that they do not have that. Because the braking system is basically when you let off the gas, your car automatically starts to brake, which can cause a lot of problems. It can cause people to crash because they're not used to it. It can cause short of wires, because if you're going too fast and you try to slow down too fast, it could short a wire out because it's all ran off of wires. Now, there is a braking system like brake fluid, which is required in both vehicles. But like I said, the gas does not have that braking electric system. And if that braking electric system goes out, it'll still stop the car, but then you're running into a lot of different problems, right? So basically, let's talk about this. Gas vehicles are obviously more reliable and more useful than electric vehicles. It just makes sense. It makes sense why we use gas vehicles every day, not electric. You do not see electric all around like you do gas vehicles. It's because they're not convenient like gas vehicles. And people need to look at and outweigh the pros and cons here, because they do both have pros and cons. But the gas vehicles' pros outweigh the electric vehicles' pros. So that is my argument. I think the gas vehicles are way better and way reliable and way more useful than electric vehicles. And you might pay more to buy a gas vehicle depending on what you get, but I can promise you in the long run, you will probably end up spending more on that electric vehicle, because if most people don't put $30,000 into their gas vehicles. They don't have to, right? They don't. Electric vehicles, that is one part that you have to replace. $30,000 out the door. It's not worth it. So, what do you think? Tell me, why do you think electric cars should be out there more and be more advertised than gas vehicles? There's not a good enough reason, I think. So, what do you think?